After the birth of Luke and Leia, Padme survives instead of dying of sadness, as in the canon. She is left weak but alive. To protect the twins from the threat of the Emperor, they fake Padme's death and keep her survival a secret, even from most of the rebellion's allies. Bail Organa, Yoda, and Obi-Wan arrange a meeting in a secluded location to discuss the children's fate. Padme's presence at this meeting marks an emotional moment, as they all share the loss and pain of what happened with Anakin. At Padme's supposed funeral, Ahsoka Tano contacts Bail Organa, and Bail reveals not only that Padme is alive, but also that both Yoda and Obi-Wan survived Order 66. He also informs her about the meeting. Upon learning that Padme has been living in the shadows, Ahsoka expresses relief but also sadness over Anakin's death. At the meeting, Padme is informed of the need to separate her children for their protection. The plan is to send Luke to Tatooine with Obi-Wan, who will watch over him closely, while Leia will be raised by the Organa family on Alderaan and trained by Ahsoka. They decide that the best way to protect the twins is to keep their existence a secret, separating them and hiding them from the Empire's gaze. Obi-Wan takes Luke to Tatooine, where he grows up under the protection of the Lars and receives discreet training in the Force. Meanwhile, Ahsoka becomes Leia's tutor on Alderaan, teaching her both combat skills and lessons in the Force. Leia shows a strong affinity with the Force and a keen sense of justice, following in her mother's footsteps. Padme, though heartbroken by the separation from her children, decides to stay in the shadows to protect them. However, she arranges occasional visits to be with them, making sure not to leave any traces that the Empire could follow. Her presence serves as a beacon of hope for both Luke and Leia, though neither of them knows the true identity of the family friend who comes to see them. Several years later, Padme, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka start to have recurring nightmares about Anakin. In their dreams, they see him dying on Mustafar or sense him trapped in unbearable darkness. These visions are unclear, but they all begin to suspect that Anakin might not be dead, but instead caught in a worse fate. However, without conclusive evidence, they remain silent, fearful of what they might discover. The course of fate takes an unexpected turn when Leia is kidnapped by the Inquisitors, who have been tracking Obi-Wan. Alarmed by the news, Ahsoka and Obi-Wan embark on a desperate rescue mission. Obi-Wan tracks Leia to a fortified Imperial base, where he comes face-to-face with the relentless Inquisitor Reva. During the intense duel, Reva, with a dark smile, delivers a devastating revelation. Anakin Skywalker, whom they all believe to be dead, is not only alive but has been reborn as the fearsome Darth Vader. The shocking truth strikes Obi-Wan like a bolt of lightning, momentarily paralyzing him with a mix of horror and despair. Despite the pain coursing through him, Obi-Wan manages to recover enough to escape with Leia, although the news of Anakin's survival will haunt him long after leaving the base. Upon his return, he shares the devastating revelation with Padme and Ahsoka. Padme, upon hearing that Anakin is alive, collapses with a mixture of pain, hope, and fear. Ahsoka, though also hurt, holds on to the hope that she can still save her former master. Together, the three of them decide to devise a plan to lure Vader to a specific location, using an emotional trap to distract him and allow them to try and reach the Anakin who may still remain within him. They decide to provoke Vader by using information about Anakin's children, hoping that this will lead him to seek answers. They choose a remote and symbolic location, an ancient Jedi temple where Anakin used to train. There, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Yoda, and Padme prepare for the confrontation. They know Vader will come, but they are uncertain of how he will react upon seeing them together. Vader arrives at the temple, and upon seeing Padme, Ahsoka, Yoda, and Obi-Wan, he is momentarily stunned. Though briefly paralyzed by emotion, his hate and resurgent anger take control. However, throughout the battle, his enemies do not seek to destroy him, but to make him remember. Ahsoka tries to appeal to his memory of their training. Obi-Wan continues to invoke their friendship and the brotherly bond they once shared, while Yoda uses the Force to try to calm the darkness surrounding his spirit. Padme, for her part, steps forward, attempting to reach Anakin's heart. She speaks to him of the love they shared, their children, and the possibility of redemption. However, the conflict within Vader is evident, and though he shows moments of doubt, his rage prevents him from accepting their words. The battle reaches a critical moment when Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Yoda manage to disarm Vader and break part of his mask, revealing Anakin's face underneath. With a trembling voice and eyes full of pain, Anakin shows signs of an internal struggle. Padme approaches with tears in her eyes and speaks softly. "Anakin, come back with me." "It's not too late. I'm here. I've always been." Anakin, with his helmet partially destroyed, feels the weight of Padme's words and the presence of his former friends. The chains of the dark side begin to break. For the first time in a long time, Anakin's voice, weak and broken, emerges with a whisper of remorse. "Padme, I'm so sorry." In a burst of emotion, Padme throws herself at him, wrapping him in a desperate embrace. Anakin falls to his knees, feeling overwhelmed by the light that his family and friends have brought back into his life. The hatred and anger finally fade away, making way for a deep feeling of redemption and love. With tears streaming down his face, Anakin rejects the mantle of Darth Vader and accepts being Anakin Skywalker once again. After Anakin's redemption, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Ahsoka, and Padme seek a way to heal the physical and spiritual wounds left by the dark side. Anakin remains trapped in Darth Vader's suit with severe scars and burns that affect both his body and his mind. The four Jedi decide to meditate together using the Force to heal Anakin. Through a deep bond of meditation, they combine their abilities to heal the most serious wounds, closing the burns and restoring his skin. They even manage to partially regenerate Anakin's disfigured face. However, the lost limbs cannot be restored. With the help of advanced technology and Anakin's willpower, they create new metal prosthetics to replace his arms and legs, similar to the mechanical arm he already had. Although the pain of the emotional scars persists, Anakin begins to heal, leaving behind the armor that defined him as Darth Vader. Once Anakin regains part of his former self, he and Padme decide that the time has come to tell Luke and Leia the truth about their family. The reunion is filled with emotions. Luke and Leia feel confusion and shock, but also relief in learning the truth about their parents. Anakin, with tears in his eyes, asks for forgiveness for his mistakes and promises to do everything possible to be worthy of them and the sacrifice that his friends have made for the galaxy. Padme shares with her children the stories of the struggle against the Empire and the reasons why they decided to keep them separated, explaining that it was out of love and protection. Although the path to reconciliation will be long, the family begins to come together, embracing their heritage and the purpose that awaits them. To ensure that he does not fall back into darkness, Anakin undergoes rigorous training with Yoda. The lessons are not only intended to strengthen his connection to the light side, but also to face and overcome the traumas that led to his fall. Yoda guides him in deep meditation, teaching him to channel his emotions in ways that do not open a door to the dark side. Through this process, Anakin learns to accept his mistakes and to forgive himself, becoming stronger in the Force. At the same time, Anakin also begins training Luke and Leia, teaching them the ways of the Jedi. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan also join the training, offering different perspectives and techniques. Luke shows great potential in lightsaber combat, while Leia excels in meditation and using the Force to influence her surroundings. The family bond among the Force strengthens as they progress, and Anakin, far from being a strict teacher, seeks to be a compassionate guide, learning as he teaches. Anakin has returned to the light, and the Skywalker family begins to heal its wounds. However, the galaxy remains shrouded in darkness, and the Empire will not rest until the last Jedi are destroyed. Emperor Palpatine remains a looming threat, his dark power lurking in the shadows, determined to destroy everything Anakin and his loved ones have achieved. In the Jedi Temple training room, where Anakin and Yoda often train, a tense calm surrounds the warriors as they prepare for a mission they know they might not return from. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Ahsoka, and Padme stand together in a circle, each aware of the weight of what they are about to face. Coruscant is no longer the bright, prosperous planet that once symbolized the Republic. Now it stands as a reminder of the Emperor's iron control, a place where the dark side feels present in every corner and shadow. The Jedi know that each step will be dangerous, every second a struggle to keep hope alive against Palpatine's dark influence. Yoda, calm and wise, considers every strategy to reach Palpatine, anticipating traps and obstacles. The Force has shown him glimpses of this battle, and he feels that Palpatine will not be alone. With rare seriousness, he explains the need to face the Emperor together, then turns to Anakin, reminding him that his determination and clarity will be essential. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka agree to combine their skills to deal with any other threat, ready to counter a possible ally of Palpatine, such as Darth Maul, whose return is a dark echo from the past. Padme, sensing the concerned looks from the Jedi, refuses to stay behind. Confident and determined, she knows her presence is a source of strength for Anakin, but also a sign of her commitment to peace. She understands that her love and support might make a crucial difference, even if only to remind Anakin of the reason he fights. When the planning ends, they exchange looks of respect and understanding. The bond between them is strong, and with the conviction that their cause is just, they prepare for the final confrontation. The ship descends towards Coruscant under a sky darkened by shadows. From the cockpit, the Jedi can see the Imperial capital stretching out below, silent and dark. The oppression of the dark side is intense, even affecting the Force that surrounds them, now twisted and charged with danger. Yoda closes his eyes for a moment, acknowledging the challenge they face. They move carefully through the empty hallways leading to Palpatine's throne room. With every step, the tension grows, as if the air itself thickens. The echoes of their footsteps are swallowed by the shadows, and every corner seems to hide some dark secret. Anakin's face shows a mix of determination and concern. He knows this will be his hardest test, for both his skill as a warrior and the strength of his spirit. Finally, they stop at the enormous doors leading to the dark throne room. The energy of the dark side seeps through every crack in the room. As the doors open, the Jedi are met by a heavy silence. There, on his throne, Palpatine awaits them, surrounded by shadows, his face a mask of cruel satisfaction. And then, like a figure from the past, Darth Maul appears beside him, his red and black markings glowing in the dim light, his burning eyes fixed on Obi-Wan with deep rage. As the Jedi spread out, the air erupts in flashes of light and movement. Yoda and Anakin launch a coordinated attack on Palpatine, while Ahsoka and Obi-Wan focus on Maul. Each of them has a clear target, and their teamwork in combat is a result of years of training and mutual trust. Green, blue, and red lightsabers create a dazzling display, reflecting off the dark walls and amplifying the ferocity of the battle. Yoda's agility lets him dodge Palpatine's attacks, spinning and moving quickly around the Emperor. His connection to the Force is deep, allowing him to predict each attack and endure the intense dark energy that Palpatine radiates with each move. Anakin, on his side, pushes forward with fierce determination, matching Palpatine's speed and returning each blow with strength and precision. The Emperor's attacks are fast and deadly, but Anakin faces them with steady resolve. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka coordinate their attacks against Maul. Ahsoka's movements are quick and agile, while Obi-Wan's are precise and calm. Though Maul is a brutal and relentless opponent, the two Jedi manage to keep him on the defensive, using their teamwork to counter his unorthodox fighting style. The intensity of the battle becomes almost hypnotic. The sounds of lightsabers, sparks, and echoes fill the room with an electrifying atmosphere. The intensity of the battle rises as Obi-Wan and Ahsoka push Maul to his limit. With each exchange, Maul grows more desperate, unleashing the hatred he has held for years. His focus on Obi-Wan is absolute, each blow driven by his desire for revenge. Ahsoka moves with skill, supporting Obi-Wan and finding weak points in Maul's defenses. Finally, Obi-Wan gains the advantage. In one final move, he disarms Maul and throws him to the ground, leaving him defenseless. Maul's gaze reflects deep hatred, but he no longer has the strength to continue. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan remain on guard, watching as Maul falls defeated, and without exchanging words, they turn toward the central battle still raging. As Yoda and Anakin press Palpatine, the Emperor changes tactics and focuses on Anakin. With an imposing gesture, Palpatine uses the Force to lift Anakin into the air, squeezing him as if trying to crush him with sheer will. In that moment, everything becomes silent for Anakin as he feels the Emperor trying to dominate his mind, showing him visions of power and darkness, suggesting that the dark side is his true destiny. But Anakin, with memories of Padme and thoughts of Obi-Wan, resists. However, Palpatine's voice continues to echo in his mind, and for a moment, it seems like Anakin might give in. The tension is clear, and the other Jedi watch, unable to help as the Emperor advances with his lightsaber to eliminate Anakin once and for all. Exhausted, but driven by the instinct to protect his friend, Obi-Wan jumps between them, redirecting the attack towards himself. Palpatine's blade strikes him, and Anakin is filled with pain as he watches Obi-Wan fall. With Obi-Wan mortally wounded, Anakin kneels beside him. In Obi-Wan's face, there is a look of complete peace. In his final breath, Obi-Wan says, "Anakin, you are the chosen one. You must fulfill the prophecy." Obi-Wan's calm passes into Anakin, leaving him with one final lesson, even in death. Anakin feels the pain turn into an unstoppable inner strength. With a scream of loss and fury, the Force explodes around him, reaching unimaginable levels. His companions feel the intensity of the energy radiating from him, and even Palpatine steps back, cautious, as he sees Anakin becoming a far greater threat. Without stopping, Anakin moves toward Palpatine, and the battle takes an epic turn. Palpatine's attacks are fierce, but Anakin doesn't back down. Every move is a reminder of Obi-Wan's sacrifice, of the peace he seeks, and of the future he wants to protect. The tension between the dark side and the Force becomes a violent dance, and finally, in a last strike, Anakin deflects Palpatine's attack, disarming him and leaving him defenseless. Together with Yoda and Ahsoka, Anakin manages to contain the Emperor, ensuring that the threat has been extinguished. In the silence that follows, Anakin kneels beside Obi-Wan's body, in reverence and sorrow. Padme approaches, holding him in that moment of grief, as they reflect on the peace that has returned, even though at a great cost. The galaxy has been freed, and the Jedi's sacrifice will be remembered by all, marking the beginning of an era of hope.